Hello and welcome along to episode 72 of the All Things Leeds podcast. I'm NkGhTg and joining me remotely is, as always, my co-host, Charles Foster. Charles, hello.
Hi mate, how you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm fine. Yeah, I watched the trophy presentation last night, so obviously I watched it on YouTube. I don't know, yeah, YouTube or Twitter. Well, I watched it on social media anyway. So I was in a really good mood last night. So yeah, I'm in a similar good mood today.
Yeah, I'm in a fantastic mood. I've been in a great mood since last Friday. I've just been non-stop smiling. It's been so great. It's been a fantastic week. And yeah, that trophy lift, history, right?
It was history. I mean, you've obviously aren't old enough to remember the great Leeds teams, so we've suffered a lot of, to put it mildly, crap over the years.
Yeah.
So to see us actually lift a trophy, to see us win something is I know people will say, "Oh, it's only the championship," but it's like it's important. We've actually won a trophy. That's in the trophy cabinet. That's added
Yeah.
onto it. That's something that we've won. That's important. And it's the obviously it's the old First Division trophy as well. The one that Howard Wilkinson lifted when he won it in '92, and obviously Gordon Strachan as well. So it's yeah, it was quite emotional. It was. And
Yeah.
obviously, I know we're going to talk about it later on, so I don't want to get all everything I've got to say out now. But I'm just going to leave that there.
Yeah, I mean, it really was a fantastic moment. And yeah, in this podcast, we will, of course, be looking back on that fantastic moment, that trophy lift, and looking back on Leeds United's final game of the season, in which they beat Lee Bowyer's Charlton Athletic 4-0 at Elland Road on Wednesday night. We've got some news to go over as well, including some transfer news as well. And then to your players out, we'll be listening to Paul Wilson's new track, United Are Back. Many thanks to him for giving us permission to be playing that in full at the end of the show. So stay tuned here at the All Things Leeds podcast. Well, what a season it has been for Leeds United. And we have capped it off with a 4-0 victory over Lee Bowyer's Charlton Athletic at Elland Road. Back to our regular first 11, back to our best. Charles, we've finished the season off in fantastic style.
Yeah, it was comfortable the way I describe it. We scored at important times. It was a very measured performance, but we never felt threatened by Charlton at any point during the game. We never felt like they were going to get on top of us. We kind of methodically took them to pieces, and I watched it on a completely legitimate stream on my phone. So yeah, I kind of was a bit behind, so I was kind of getting notifications about goals, and then I had to wait like 2 minutes for them to come in. But it was just really enjoyable because I really didn't want nobody wanted to lose before we lifted the trophy. We didn't want that kind of dampener on the mood. I know obviously Charlton had something massive to play for, and we didn't, and we were finished. But I really respect the kind of professionalism that we kind of applied to the game, that we wanted as many points as possible. We wanted to play as well as possible, and we wanted to score as many goals as possible, which also got us onto the same goal difference as Brentford in the end of the game, which is I was very pleased with.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, commiserations to Charlton. They are, of course, they have been relegated to League One. But I just say, we stayed professional because, yes, we could have easily just laid off, let them get a draw, let them stay up, and help a good friend out in Lee Bowyer, of course, fantastic player for Leeds United. But we had a job on hand, and we want, we're champions. We need to show that we're champions, and we did. It was a very good performance. I mean, I think saying that it was comfortable is putting it lightly. I thought we were taking the piss at times. Really, I thought it was just a complete onslaught from Leeds. I mean, Charlton looked defeated right from the get go.
Yeah, I mean, particularly first half, they were really kind of woeful in the first half. They had a little bit more in the presence in the game in the second half, but particularly first half, we took it to them immediately. We were creating chances. We could have been probably 3 or 4 up by half time. Stuart Dallas had a great chance, which was palmed. Hernandez had a great chance, which was saved. Harrison put one wide, so we and obviously we got the 2 goals in the first half, which we'll talk about. But yeah, it was really dominant from Leeds, particularly in the first half. Which is strange because we don't normally start well. We normally figure teams out within kind of first 20 minutes and then push on and score. But this was just domination from kind of minute one. Yeah, they had a they had a couple of chances throughout the game, but particularly first half, we've torn them to pieces, really.
Yeah, we very much did. As I mentioned, back to our strongest starting 11. Really, were you pleased to see the strong starting 11, or were you hoping for some more changes in this game?
I actually wanted some more changes. I know I wanted to see. Obviously, Bogusz came on later on in the game, but I would have liked him to have a start. I was pleased to see Streak retain his place in the team. I thought he was brilliant at Derby, and I thought he was particularly excellent in this game as well, as we're going to talk about later on. I understood that Bielsa wanted to give everyone kind of equal minutes, and that means kind of putting a few of the hangover lads from last week back on the pitch, and I can respect that. But I would have liked a few more changes, but given the subs we had anyway, everyone kind of got a decent amount of time on the pitch, regardless. Yeah. So I'm not too disappointed about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would have been nice to see a few more of the kids play, but again, we stayed professional, and the starting 11, they deserve to start the game. Really, deserve to start the game, win the game. Yeah, it would have been nice to see some of the kids, but I'm not too bothered at the end because we watched a fantastic game, a fantastic Leeds performance, and the goals in this. All all 4 goals in this game were fantastic. Of course, the first one came up on 14 minutes. Pablo Hernandez here on the right, floating the ball over to Ben White on the edge of the box. He chested it down and volleyed it right into that top right-hand corner. I mean, what a strike. What a strike from Ben White. I think it caught everyone off guard.
Yeah, it comes off. Obviously, comes off a corner. Pablo whips in quite a decent ball from the first ball in from the corner, which Charlton defend quite well, head clear. It comes back out to Ben White, who lays it back to Pablo. He whips it back in. He gets cleared once again by a defender, and superb technique from White to chest it down, giving this open up the opportunity to have the shot. He kind of hits the shot. It wiggles a bit in the air, kind of wavers a bit to the right. Keeper does get a few, probably 2 or 3 fingers to it, but not enough to save it. Especially with the power he hit it in. It was a properly kind of. I know this phrase sometimes gets overused with some of our goals, but it was a proper Yeboah-esque strike when it comes to obviously some of the goals he scored. But it was beautiful, and what a way to score your first goal for the club. I hope it's not his last goal for the club, but that may be his last goal and last appearance. So we'll see about that. But it was a superb goal, and obviously you score in 14 minutes, and the nerves are settled immediately, and everyone's kind of feeling like now can really enjoy this and put together some really good patterns of play.
Yeah, I mean it was a fantastic strike from a centre back as well. From a centre back, it was just amazing. Caught everyone off guard. I don't think anyone expected Ben White, a centre back, to hit it from that distance on the volley, but he did. Found the back of the net. It was a fantastic strike, and as you say, first goal for Leeds United. What a goal it is as well. It's just a pity because I would have voted for that for goal of the season because I think it definitely is it's certainly a contender there. But yeah, let's just hope that isn't his one and only goal for Leeds United. But Charles, if it is Ben White's last game for Leeds, I mean, what a game it was. He was fantastic in this game.
Yeah, he's probably been one of the best loan signings the club's ever had, and I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that. And I think he's been to have the impact he's had at the club, to be as consistent as he is. He's been a remarkable player, and it'll be obviously very disappointing for all the fans, and I imagine most of the staff at Leeds United if he doesn't choose to come back. But if he does choose to move on to a different club, obviously if Liverpool or City are interested in him, then he'll go there. If he wants to go back to Brighton, I'm not going to be one of these people that'll be bitter towards him, because he's given me my favourite ever season as a Leeds fan.
Yeah,
my favourite ever time following Leeds, and he's been a crucial part of that, and he had a great contribution. And you got to say, what a player! Great contribution, filling a hole left by Pontus Jansson, and obviously we know how Jansson's season finished, as we're going to talk about. So it's just remarkable, and if it is his last appearance for the club, I'll wish him well, because he's been brilliant for us, and he deserves whatever's coming in his career.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's had a fantastic season, an incredible season. And, you know, when he first signed, there was a few question marks because he hadn't played in the Championship before, only had a few decent loan spells at the likes of Peterborough and I think Newport as well. But no,
Yeah.
he's had a fantastic season. As you say, you know, he's given us one of the best seasons ever. And, you know, I'll thank him for that. You know, he's had a fantastic contribution to one of the best seasons I've seen at Leeds United. It's been unreal. And I will hate him for not wanting to join Leeds. Of course, it'll be massively disappointing, not just for fans, but as you say, staff as well, because you know we've worked so hard to develop him. And if he was to leave, then yeah, it'd be a huge kick in the teeth. But you know, I wouldn't hold it against him. He deserves all the good things he gets because he's a fantastic player. And as I say, incredible season, 22 clean sheets this season. He's completed the most passes out of any Championship player under the age of 24. He's only one of only 4 outfield players to have played every minute for Leeds United this season. And of course, he's a champion as well. And also, thanks to Andrew Dalton for this stat, by the way, Ben White has become the first central defender to start every league game since Andy Lenihan in the 1984-85 season, and the first Leeds outfield player to start every league game in his first season with the club since Gary McAllister in 1990-91. So yeah, I mean, you know, Charles, if Ben White does go on and, you know, play for one of the top 6 clubs in the Premier League, you know, he's earned it. He really has earned it.
I won't begrudge him taking the opportunity. It's a short career as football, and injury has ruined many a promising career. And you've got to take the opportunities you can when you can. And yeah, he's given his all for this club while he's been here. And if this is the end, then it'll be disappointing. But you know, you got to think. I'll always think back on the time he was playing for the club as fondly. So
yeah,
you know, I wish him well, whatever his decision is.
Yeah, 100%. He's been fantastic. Great season. And yeah, hopefully he does stay at Leeds. But if he doesn't, then yeah, best of luck to him in the future. But yeah, back onto the Charlton game then. Yeah, as we were saying, absolute domination from Leeds in this game. Charlton, you know, as you mentioned, Charles, they did have a few chances, but, you know, they did very little in the game, really did Charlton. Of course, it was 2-0 to Leeds on 28 minutes. Stuart Dallas here playing a nice 1-2 with Pablo Hernandez, who nutmegged a defender in the process. And then Dallas ended up poking it in. Another nice goal here.
It kind of reminded me, it was kind of a mix of that moment in the Derby game where Hernandez nutmegged that player from about 7-8 yards, you know, on the edge of the box. It reminded me of that. It was a kind of a similar situation as that. And also, you know, the Stoke goal that Helder Costa scored with a 1-2 from Dallas and Hernandez. It was kind of a mix of those two moments. It was just a beautiful piece of vision. And to be honest, the Charlton defence should have been tracking Dallas's run there. I mean, he gives the ball to Hernandez, sprints through, obviously megs him, and kind of outside of the foot, tucks it in the far corner. Very much like Costa's goal against Stoke. It was just a beautiful move, and it's those kind of goals where you just think that kind of makes me sad that Pablo Hernandez is not going to be doing this for much longer, because the man is an absolute there's ice in his veins. He's ruthless, and he is just a beautiful footballer to watch. He's inspiring, and I really hope we can sign a player of similar ability, or you know, ideally produce a player of similar ability to the youth ranks if Bogusz can get up to scratch. So yeah, it was a brilliant goal, and I'm pleased for Stuart Dallas as well. Obviously, we voted for him individually. We didn't discuss it before, and both individually voted for him player of the season. I think he's been exceptional this season, and he's obviously capped off the final game with another goal. I think it's 5 or 6, whatever he's got. Anyway, from a man who's playing at fullback most of the time, that's pretty good going. And he's been really good for the club. And that was a superb goal. And of course, when you go 2-0 up that early, you think we could really turn on the style here. And as we're going to talk about, we really did.
Yeah, we really did. And again, Dallas and Hernandez, working well to score the goal here. You know, cashing my back to the Stoke game, that Hernandez through ball to Dallas, 2-on-2. But yeah, this was a nice goal. And yeah, Pablo Hernandez, I just have so much joy just watching him play. He's just a fantastic footballer. A man of that age to not be doing nutmegs that easily. You know, I mean, he nutmegs almost everyone. It's like it's a party trick. He just brings it out whenever. He just nutmegs people for whenever he can for literally no reason. Like he'll just do it in the middle of a pitch somewhere, not creating anything, but he'll just send it through someone's legs, just like, all right, cheers, bye bye. It's
That
just
that one against Callum O'Dowda when he did him twice in about 5 seconds was so funny.
Yeah, he's such a fantastic player, and really pleased that he got an assist here. And 2-0 to Leeds at half time. We made it 3-0 on 51 minutes. Leeds scoring directly from a corner. Would you believe? Tyler Roberts here with a thumping header.
Yeah, the Charlton started the second half quite brightly. Clearly, the Boyer had to give him a bit of a scene to at half time, so they kind of came out. They started a bit brightly, had a bit of possession. Obviously,
they made 2 changes, of course, at half time.
Yeah, they made 2 changes, and obviously they counter-attacked us off a corner as well. Had a 1-on-1, which their striker, I think, was playing non-league last season because their squad's been that ripped apart so much. He unfortunately put it wide for. Well, I say unfortunately for them, put it wide. This goal was. I like this goal because I wanted Roberts to score. I really wanted him to do well, and it was excellently whipped corner from Pablo Hernandez. But look, the defensive marking is appalling. If you watch this corner, he's free at the near post, and I think Ben White's free as well. Or I know it's not Ben White. It's Roberts and Struijk are both free right next to each other at the near post. And if Roberts misses that, then Struijk doesn't. So it's appalling defensively from Charlton, but it's still a good goal, and it was nice to exercise a few demons about stuff we've not done over the season. Like the issues we've had with the squad over the season have been, not finishing chances, not scoring from corners, not doing certain things, within the doing certain things with a bit kind of sloppily. But this was perfect. We're kind of exercising a few demons with these goals, and coming out from the corner on the last game of the season, 3-0, and that's game over from there. And we can. And because it's so early in the second half as well, there was plenty of opportunity. Even when we were going to talk about the next goal, even after the next goal went in, I thought there's still half an hour here. We could still get another one. So I was always thinking about the next one. But this, I'm delighted for Tyler Roberts, but defensively this was poor from Charlton.
Yeah, delighted for Tyler Roberts. Of course, came on at half time for Patrick Bamford, and delighted that he got the goal. Brilliant header. I just say, great to exercise a few demons by scoring directly from a corner. The first time we've done that this season, by the way.
Yeah.
Scoring directly from a corner. The first time this season, and we've saved
How many times have I been stood next to you? How many times have I been stood next to you in Elland Road when we've just got a corner and saying, we're going to do nothing with this. This is going to lead to nothing.
And then we play it short and you say, I hate short corners.
I do hate short corners. So I stand by that. I think they're pointless. But we've had a tough time, and then when other teams get corners against us, we're always like, well, this is definitely going in. We're definitely conceding this corner. I think it's just the natural pessimism in the heart of every Leeds fan, particularly me. I mean, my Twitter handle isn't cynical Leeds for no reason. It's
I mean, I think if we were playing a team of under 8s, I think we'd still be saying they're going to score from this corner, and we're not going to do anything from ours, even though they're like half a height.
It's just the inbuilt stress of the Leeds fan that kind of comes through. But I was pleased with this, and then I thought from then on, right, we're playing sailing here, and we were.
Yeah, we really were. And 4-0 after 66 minutes, thanks to substitute Jamie Shackleton. He'd only been on the pitch for a couple of minutes, and he ends up getting his second goal in 2 games. He's prolific. He's a prolific goal scorer.
Yeah, this was my favourite goal of the evening. It was a superb kind of lofted through ball over the top from Struijk near the centre circle. He obviously finds Poveda in space. Shackleton, obviously with the ridiculous pace, is running on into the box. Yeah, lays it off for him, perfectly weighted pass into him, and just side foots it far corner, and that's 4-0. And it's 3 of the youth products that we so desperately wanted to do well this season, because I love to see us progressing youth, because Leeds as a club is built on progressing decent youth players through our ranks. I think we've only had one day in the last, I don't know how many seasons one game in the last, I think 18 or 19, maybe more seasons where we've not played at least one youth product in the team. So Leeds as a club are built on using youth, and for the 3 youth players to, kind of collaborate in this way, I loved it really. I'm excited to see more Poveda. I thought he had another bright game, got himself an assist. Struijk is looking like a very able Phillips deputy for the Premier League. We're often
Yeah,
worried
I mean,
what we're going to do without Phillips, and yet he's there. He's massive. He's obviously got the passing technique. He's looking like a really solid player. I don't know how he'll do at centre half because we saw him struggle a bit with Cardiff, so we'll see about that. But defensive midfield, he looks a really solid option. He looks like a really able backup for Phillips, and that's what we need. And of course, we don't want to be paying mad. We don't want to be paying mad money for a backup if we've got one already in the youth academy. And Shackleton, I'm delighted for because obviously he's been talked about by the likes of Neil Redfern for the last few years as being the kind of the up and coming star of the academy, and he's finally getting a few more opportunities in the team. I'm delighted for him.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, delight for Jamie Shackleton. He's grown so much over these past 2 seasons under Bielsa. He really, really has. And as you say, the 3 youth players linking up for this goal. Struijk, what a ball. And, as you say, he's looking brilliant in defensive midfield. Again, playing defensive midfield here. Never in my life did I think, throughout this season, we'd be seeing Struijk replace Cameron Phillips in defensive midfield. I thought it would always be either Ben White or Adam Forshaw, but Pascal Struijk is doing a fantastic job there. And as you say, that may be his position now because we saw him struggle at centre half against Cardiff. But, in defensive midfield, he's doing a fantastic job. And yeah, great ball. Poveda, nice run to get onto it. Nice layoff on Poveda. Again, brilliant in this game. As I said in the last podcast, is he going to start for Leeds anytime soon? Probably not, but he's great to be there in the squad. And he's great to just bring off a bench and see what he can do. And Jamie Shackleton, nice finish, really nice finish for as I said, his second goal for Leeds in as many games. Brilliant here. And here's a stat for you. Leeds United's last goal in the top flight was scored by Leeds-born Alan Smith. And now our last goal in the Football League has been scored by Leeds-born Jamie Shackleton. Thank you to Andrew Dalton, also known as Stats, for providing me with that stat. What a stat that is. What a stat that is. And as you say, it's great to see all the Leeds youngsters doing well as you chug your beer there. But 4-0 win here for Leeds, a perfect way to finish off what has really been an incredible season. As I said earlier, commiserations to Lee Bowyer and Charlton, who have, of course, now been relegated to League One. Here's another stat for you as well. Charlton was our last top-flight home game in 2004, and here we faced them in our last home game in the Championship. Again, thanks to Stats for providing me with that.
Nice to, new chapter, kind of move on from that kind of. I'm struggling to find a different phrase other than horrendous era. Kind of put an end to that, yeah. And
it's amazing how it's worked out like that. The last game in 2004 in the top flight was against Charlton at home.
Yeah, it's very kind of cyclical is probably the word for it. A nice, a nice circle, a nice cycle. We're back to it, and we can look forward to playing the big lads again and getting that ridiculously undeserved TV money pumped straight into everyone's down his bank account, and we can enjoy some of that. I'm very much looking forward to next season now. The final standings then. So Leeds United, of course, top of the league, champions on 93 points, 10 points ahead of second place West Brom, who are coming up with us. So congratulations to Slaven Bilic and West Brom for coming up with us. Were you bothered about who came up in second, who came up with us, or were you keen on a team like West Brom coming up? I wasn't extremely bothered. I kind of preferred West Brom coming up with us because West Brom and Brentford were both kind of staggering over the finishing line. I thought we swept over the finishing line in style. We have absolutely turned. We won 6 games in a row. We've been superb, but obviously West Brom have lost to Huddersfield, and then they've drawn to QPR. They've kind of staggered over the line. Brentford lost to Barnsley and lost to Stoke. So they staggered towards the end as well. I didn't want Brentford to come up for a number of reasons, chief of which being I want us to steal all of their players. I want us to take Ben Rama. I want us to take Ethan Pinnock, and I think it's Ethan Pinnock. In their defence. I want us to steal all their players. They've got obviously that Josh De Silva from Arsenal. I want to take them all.
Ollie Watkins.
He's a cheat, but he does score a lot of goals. He does dive a lot as well. I don't like.
Make an exception. can make an exception for that.
Yeah, but I don't like people diving, so he won't be able to dive for us. I won't be a fan of that. But yeah, I think they've got a better squad than West Brom. Personally, I think West Brom got some very good players. I thought Brentford's players have outperformed with the majority of West Brom's players all season. Obviously, Pereira and Diangana have been brilliant, but I think Brentford over the whole of their squad have got a better squad. So I kind of wanted Brentford to finish third and hopefully not get through in the playoffs, so we can take a few of their players. But if you're talking about opinions on clubs, I'm not really bothered. West Brom mean nothing to me. Brentford mean nothing to me. So thinking about it like that, I'm not fussed. But
yeah, I wasn't too bothered who came up in
I
second.
quite like Bilic as a character, and I like him as a manager. So it's nice to see him in the league.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of Slaven Bilic. His punditry is great, and then for West Brom, he's done a good job there. There's that amazing gif of Slaven Bilic and Bielsa hugging each other after that 1-0 draw away there back in I think it was December, wasn't it? So oh no, it was January, wasn't it? At the beginning of the year. So I've always kind of liked Bilic. So if I had to pick a team to come up in second with us, it would be West Brom. So yeah, congratulations to them. I'm happy for them to be coming up with us automatically. But yeah, again, I wasn't too bothered. But yeah, West Brom, happy with that. And I just say I've never looked at it that way. But yeah, Brentford, if they stay down, we can nick all their good players, and they do have a lot of good players. But yeah, Brentford, they really did bottle that second place. It was in their hands after West Brom lost away at Huddersfield last Friday, lost to Stoke, lost to Barnsley.
Yeah, it was fantastic to see because they were kind of. It's so easy to play with freedom and play your own football when there's no pressure on you, when you're the chase, you are the chasing pack. But as soon as Brentford had it in their own hands to go second, they choked completely. They bottled it massively. Obviously, Michael O'Neill's Stoke side did a massive job on them, really good defensive performance and kept them out. Barnsley had absolute. I'm trying to think of a better phrase than balls of steel to kind of play as well as they have in the last 3 games. Obviously, they gave all I don't feel any shame in saying they battered us at Elland Road. They probably should have picked up some points from that. They turned over Forest as well. They turned over Forest, and obviously they beat Brentford on the last day. Clacador, Leeds Academy product, scored the winner for them in 91st minute to keep them in the
pleased for that.
Championship. And it was also Alex Mowat's was key in that goal as well. So it was nice to see a few former Leeds lads doing the job there. Obviously, I felt a bit guilty though because Wigan did. I feel a bit conflicted on the Wigan situation because on the one hand they beat us at Elland Road 2 years on the bounce and have really gotten on my nerves this last 2 seasons. But at the same time, they performed so well to get up to 13th and then just be dropped into the relegation place. I feel sorry for them on that. Obviously, we're not a Wigan fan. We're not a Wigan fan channel, so we're not going to go into how terribly their run or how badly the Football League has dealt with that situation because they have. But to see Barnsley jump out of the relegation zone in the last day of the season was something special.
That was nice. I mean, it was an incredible final day.
Yeah,
an absolutely incredible final day. So in the playoffs, you got Brentford, who will be playing Swansea, who finished 6th, and then you got Cardiff, who finished in 5th, and Fulham in 4th. So it's going to be Fulham versus Cardiff, Brentford versus Swansea. But an almighty collapse from Nottingham Forest going into this final day. They were 3 points ahead of 7th place
with +5 goal difference as well.
Yeah, +5 goal difference. Nottingham Forest ended up losing 4-1 at home to Stoke, wasn't it? And then Swansea ended up winning 4-1. Swansea turned around the goal difference, and finished in the top 6 on goal difference. So Nottingham Forest an almighty collapse, which is hilarious. And then of course going down, Hull City bottom of the league. Charlton, of course, going down, so commiserations to them, and commiserations to Wigan as well. Wigan, they have a good squad, a really good young squad, picking up some good results, and shame on the EFL really.
I think
the way that's all handled.
Yeah, we're looking at Joe Geldardt, their 18-year-old striker, aren't we? We've been quite heavily linked with him. We've had a few discussions with him, apparently with Victor Orton and such, and they've got some really good young players at Wigan. I wouldn't be surprised if a few Championship clubs would be raiding them, and a couple of Premier League clubs maybe. Obviously, they had that. Is it Anthony Robinson, that young lad who was who AC Milan were looking at, that Wigan's left back. So he'll have a few interesting parties as well. So I do really feel sorry for him because by rights, they finished 13th in the league. They're mid-table. They finished mid-table. And they performed really well. Obviously, got that last day draw with Fulham. So yeah, I do feel sorry for them. But as we say, we're a Leeds podcast, so we'll crack back on with Leeds soon.
Yeah, and I mean, can we just laugh at Nottingham Forest for a second? Because when you look back at that 2-0 loss away at Forest on the 8th of February, they were 1 point behind us with 15 games left to play. We were second on 55 points, 1 point behind league leaders West Brom at the time. And as I say, Nottingham Forest, they went fourth, 1 point behind us. And since then, so in 15 games, we've picked up 38 points and won the league by 10 points. Forest have picked up just 16 points and finished in 7th on goal difference. So
yeah, I think since that Forest result, I think we won 12 of our last 14 games.
Yeah, we've won 12 of 14.
Yeah, we lost to Cardiff and drew to Luton, but we won the rest of them. So that is, as the end of the season goes, as Bielsa burnout goes, not too bad, have we? There, not done too bad.
It's been insane. It really has been insane.
Here's a stat for you. Forest, since that game, Forest have won 3 games. 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an almighty collapse for them. And and no collapse from Leeds, which is a nice change for once. Just being incredible. An incredible 4-0 win on Wednesday night. And we, of course, have the trophy presentation afterwards. Never in my life did I think I'd see Leeds United lift a trophy. And I did. And a beautiful trophy as well. I'd never really paid attention to the Championship trophy, but no, it's a really nice trophy, isn't it? And this was great. This was fantastic to watch.
Obviously, when the Premier League separated from the EFL, the former First Division trophy that you got for winning the First Division is now the Championship winning trophy. So the trophy that we lifted,
which is awesome,
which we lifted in 1992, is the same trophy we're lifting today. Obviously, it had the blue and yellow tassels on the side, which I thought the trophy looked beautiful. I think it's a really good looking trophy.
Yeah, it was really nice.
There's photos of all the players holding it. They managed to get Bielsa involved, which I thought was a really lovely moment because Bamford and Calvin Phillips brought him over. That was a really beautiful moment.
Did you see first up, Patrick Bamford tried to get Marcelo Bielsa by himself. It didn't work, so he was like, Calvin, come and help me. and then they both managed to drag Marcelo Bielsa to go and lift the trophy.
Calvin's smile obviously enticed him over.
It was so nice to see, though, because, all the players that were standing there celebrating lifting the trophy, Marcelo Bielsa stood in the back and just watched and smiled. He didn't really want to be a part of it, but he got persuaded into lifting the trophy. He ended up lifting it, which was a really nice moment. Big smile on his face. But then as soon as he had done it, it was like, no, please have it back. Please have the trophy back. And then he went off quietly into the distance. And we didn't really see too much of him after that. But no, I mean, Bielsa, he really was like a fish out of water here. He both hated it but loved it. It was just a special moment.
I mean, he's a very humble, he's very introverted and quite a understated bloke. So I can understand why he reacted the way he did. And I thought it was adorable, really. My favourite interview, they did a bunch of interviews with the players, was Elland's, because he was basically saying, until I came to Leeds, I signed for Leeds 4 years ago. Before this, I was basically like a bit part player. I wasn't like a well-known player. I was and they signed me and I've won the Championship, and it feels brilliant. And I'm honestly delighted for him, because we signed him as a third choice right back from Bristol City for, I think, £600,000. And think what a signing Luke Aylin's been for the club. He's been phenomenal. So I was delighted for him. I was pleased for all of them. To be fair, they interviewed Cooper and Bamford, and obviously they had Sticks, who's heavily involved in the staff, and he's kind of like it. He speaks to the players a lot. He's a bit of a club legend. Robert Snodgrass even tweeted about Sticks enjoying the trophy on Twitter. So that was lovely to see a few former players chipping in with that, and it was just a really wonderful celebration. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, we'll go on to talk about the events outside afterwards, but this was perfect, really. And I truly hope it's not the last time I see Leeds United lift some silverware in my lifetime, but you never know, do you?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, to say that this was the first time we lifted a trophy for 28 years. So yeah, hopefully it's not the last time we see Leeds United lift a trophy in our lifetime. But no, it was such a beautiful moment. I've saved all the pictures of all the players with the trophy. Every single one of them that's been out on social media. I've got a folder on my computer just saying champions. And I'm just going to keep those forever. It was just such a beautiful moment. I mean, it's history. As we were saying earlier, this is a historic moment. We're seeing Leeds United win a trophy. It really is history.
I mean, when you think a few years ago, particularly remember towards the end of the Heckingbottom era, did you ever think within a couple of years we'd have won the championship? Do you ever think we'd have been capable of that?
I mean, I was thinking, if we're going up, I'll take second or, the playoffs. But to win the league, it's just, it's amazing.
I think the amount of hopelessness this club has had over the last 16 years, even especially over the last kind of 7 or 8, have probably been really bad. Apart from obviously the upside Bielsa's last season and the Gary Monk season, although it wasn't brilliant football, it at least gives a kind of glimmer of hope. The amount of hopelessness we've had has kind of led to the kind of adds to the emotional value of what we've really done, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been amazing. But what I feel did somewhat ruin the night for quite a lot of fans and sort of a black mark on what a great moment this is the open top bus show that happened outside the East Stand following the game. You talk about mixed messages, and this was just a day of mixed messages from the club. I thought it was appalling from the club, in my opinion. Throughout the whole day, they were telling fans not to come down to Elland Road. NkGhTg, the CEO, sent out a letter, a message saying, please don't come down to the ground. They really wanted fans to stay at home and not come down. But, throughout the day, so the Leeds United stores had opened on Tuesday, including the Elland Road store. So people were going down anyway to go buy stuff. And throughout the day, they closed the road off for cars. But there was a sign saying no glass beyond this point. So fans, taking pictures of that sign saying, oh, look, we're allowed down here just without glasses. There were people with stalls selling scarves and flags, championship flags. People going down, throughout the day, spreading pictures online of what it was like, and that was encouraging fans to go down. And then, of course, the open top bus, which appeared outside, I think it was the Centenary Pavilion, just before the game. And this appeared to send a message to fans saying, all right, something's going to happen here. Big celebration is going to happen here. I'm going to go down. And thousands of fans ended up turning out, going down to the road outside the East Stand to celebrate. And I just feel, it was a real mess, a real poor decision from the club.
I know the kind of logic they were going for. They were kind of saying, if we come out with the trophy, do a short kind of presentation, and then go back inside, everyone will then leave. And I was seeing on the news, I'm not sure if it's true or not, that after the players left, nearly everybody left by within 40 minutes. So I can understand why they were thinking that. What I can say for myself is I'm disappointed in the club. I think the mixed messages were kind of unacceptable, really. And I think if you're going to say the things that they've said, if you're going to have Rajazani on West Yorkshire Sport saying people are being irresponsible, if you're going to have NkGhTg saying don't come down, if you're going to announce nothing on social media and tell people not to come down, but then organise something anyway, then that seems poor to me. That seems like you're trying to get away with it. You're trying to get away with doing a trophy presentation without everybody coming down. And I don't think that's necessarily fair to the people that have obeyed the social distancing rules. I don't think it's fair to people that have got obviously vulnerable family members. I don't think that's necessarily fair at all. And I think while I don't agree with you when you're saying it's a black mark on the club, I would say it is very disappointing. I am very disappointed with the way they've handled that. And I think they could have done it better. Having said that, I'm not going to let that ruin the evening or the occasion or the achievement. I think it's still been a fantastic achievement. I think maybe there should be some questions asked of the club as to why they've acted in the way they've acted, and I think there should certainly be some an explanation for it. Because I'm not necessarily angry, but I am disappointed with the way they've handled that.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, extremely disappointed in the club, and I'm expecting an apology to be made. Of course, I did release a statement on the night after the parade, saying that everybody knew it was going to happen. The police, all the authorities, they knew that this open top bus party was going to happen. It was planned, and I just say the plan was for to have the players come out onto the bus for a short time only, which happened, and then finish it hoping to just draw a line in all of the celebrations for the night and hope that people would leave. Now I did pop down hoping to see the players on the bus, but by the time I had gone down there, they had already left, and yeah, a lot of people were leaving from partying, but a lot of people were still turning up as well, and they were partying till late in the night still. So yeah, it didn't really work, and to me, I feel as though it was kind of like a loophole into trying to get an open top bus parade to happen, because Angus Kinnear said in the statement that stay at home. There's going to be an open top bus parade later on down the line, but of course, if it's not going to happen for another 3 months, and we don't keep hold of all the players, then an open top bus parade isn't going to happen. So yeah, disappointing in the club for doing this. And yeah, as I say, I think they just found a loophole. They've put out these messages saying, "Oh yeah, look, we've told people not to come down to the ground, so we can't get in trouble for this." But they found a loophole to have an open top bus parade. I feel as though it was quite poor for people. I think what would have just stopped people coming down was just to block the road off to people, tell them, yeah, the players are not going to come out to celebrate with the trophy at all. So just don't come down. I feel as though if you said that, no one would have come down. But because during the day, people were sharing messages of what it looked like to saw the open top bus, thousands of fans went down. If you had said, yeah, no one's going to be celebrating, then I think a lot or less people would have turned up.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. But very disappointing of the club. I feel it was just a really poor choice from the club, with all the mixed messages, and very disappointed. But as I said, we don't want to put a dampener on what is a really special moment, and it's still been an amazing week. It's still been a fantastic week to be a Leeds United fan.
I'm not going to allow it to spoil my week, and I'm not going to let it spoil the achievement of the team at all, because I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think that you got to take it as it is, and we've been exceptional. We're by far the best team in the league. We finished 12 points ahead of third place. How many seasons has that happened? That much of a gap. It's we've been truly great, and it's been lovely to see. So yeah, I'm not going to let it spoil it for me.
It really has. Yeah. I mean, I do feel sorry for the people who, as I say, did obey social distancing rules and did listen to the club and didn't go down because they've missed out on a historic moment, a special moment. So I do feel sorry for those fans, but, I'm not going to let it get to me too much. The fans who went down, they've enjoyed themselves. You just hope that now those fans who did go down, such as myself, I'm going to self-isolate now for 7 days, be sensible, to try not to spread anything that I may have caught up in there. But yeah, it's still been a fantastic season. As you say, so many memories to take from this season. It really has been fantastic. And the Premier League awaits for Leeds United. So let's have a look at some news now. And since we recorded the last episode earlier this week, Leeds United have announced that Adidas will be the club's new official kit partner from next season in a record-breaking 5-year deal. Adidas will produce apparel and both playing and training kits for all Leeds United teams over the next 5 years. And Leeds United joined the likes of Real Madrid and Juventus in partnering with the German sportswear manufacturer. It is the first time Leeds United have changed their shirt suppliers since 2015, when Italian company Kappa signed a 5-year deal with the club. It is also the first time in Leeds United's 100-year history that they will wear the famous 3 stripes of Adidas. Adidas are notorious for making high-quality products, with the company being the largest sportswear manufacturer in Europe and the second largest in the world after American company Nike. Adidas, however, is a global leader in football, with being the official suppliers to tournaments across the world, including the FIFA World Cup and the UEFA Champions League. The club says that merchandise will not only be available to purchase on the club's official online store and in the 4 official club shops, but also on the Adidas website and selected Adidas stores. A date for the official kit launch will be announced in due course. Charles, this is probably the worst kept secret in football, really. We all knew that this was going to happen. But, terrific stuff, this.
Yeah, it's fantastic to have such a massive company like Adidas, obviously be the official partner of the club when it comes to the kits. And obviously the Capra produced probably a few decent kits, a few not so decent kits. On the main, they've done. It's been a good partnership. But obviously the amount of shirts available from the club shop and on the website has been low, especially men's, medium, and large. Because Leeds sell the amount of shirts they do, I think we sold 110,000 for the season just gone. So it'd be good partnership for on the part of Adidas, and also because of the distribution network, there's going to be so many more shirts available, so we'll make far more sales. The club will make so much more money, and it will be fantastic because it'll be far more widely available. It won't just be available in Adidas shops and the websites and the club shops and the club websites. It'll be available in, I imagine, Sports Direct if there's a contract, if there's any kind of contract there, which I'm sure there is. It'll be available in all sorts of sports shops. So the Leeds brand, and I hate using that word, to be honest, when it comes to football clubs, but the Leeds brand will be far more accessible. The club merchandise will be more accessible. The club will make a lot more money, and it's absolutely. I mean, obviously, it's massive in terms of how much we can make and how much the club will have in future years if we can retain Premier League status, particularly, for future transfer fees. And I don't think it's really settled in yet for people how important this is, especially because with 32 Red as well as the current kit sponsor, I think that's going to possibly change, or we're going to renegotiate a very, very much more lucrative sponsorship deal for the shirts. So the club are going to come into a lot more money, and it's really going to help us out. So it's brilliant news for the club. I'm looking forward to see what Adidas can do with the kits. Obviously, we've seen a few leaked examples already of the different shirts. We'll see if they're accurate or not soon enough, I imagine. But I'm looking forward to it, and as soon as I'm not beyond skin, I'll buy myself a shirt.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a massive deal for the club. I mean, the Kappa deal at the time, that was really big. In 2015, that was a really big deal for especially a championship club. Chileno was saying the Kappa deal was really good, and they did produce some nice shirts, some not so nice shirts. But you mentioned there with the the lack of the lack of merchandise that was on sale. With the shirts that they very much ran out of the medium, large, and extra large. The shirt sizes that were available. So you'd hope that with Adidas there will be a lot more stock available. But yeah, it really is a big deal. Adidas, as I say, notorious for making really nice stuff. So that's me being a full kit wanker for the next 5 years. But Adidas, they're a huge company. As I say, the largest sportswear manufacturer in Europe, the second largest in the world. And it'll give great exposure to the club. I'd imagine Leeds shirts will be available to buy now in places like America because there's Adidas stores over there. It's going to give great exposure to the club and a lot more money through the door. They say it's a record-breaking deal. It's hard to disagree with that. I'm sure that it is worth a lot of money, and great exposure for the club. Great business from the club. It'll bring a lot more money through the door, and it really is a fantastic deal. A really, really big deal for the club. You mentioned there the elite kit that we saw the other month from Footy Headliners, that kind of like blue greeny one. Kind of reminds me of that the kit that was it Tony Yeboah scored that volley in.
It's West Ham, kind of mid-90s. So it's kind of a nod to a kind of a more retro Leeds kit. But obviously we don't know if that's just an idea or concept or whether that's the final product. We obviously it's a lot of speculation over that right now. So we'll see what they do with the home kit as well, and whether or not it'll be a third kit, and there'll be obviously the goalkeeper kit this season's been quite good. There'll be a new goalkeeper kit, so there's a lot of stuff we're not aware of right now. There's a lot of stuff that's probably that we're not aware of. So we'll see what they can do with the kits. I'm optimistic about what they can do because they've obviously got nearly unlimited money, and I mean, Adidas, obviously that's an exaggeration, but they've got a lot of experience and a lot of money and a lot of very high profile clubs that they're in partnership with. So as you mentioned, he's there with Juventus. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, very much so. I'm looking forward to seeing what Adidas will produce for Leeds United, and someone who will definitely be wearing a Leeds United shirt made by Adidas next season is goalkeeper Elland Meslier. We were discussing on the previous podcast early this week that it looked very likely that he would stay at Leeds. He was saying in many interviews that he wanted to stay at Leeds, and that was always the plan. And he is now. Leeds United have completed the permanent signing of French goalkeeper Elland Meslier. The 20-year-old has signed a 3-year deal running until the summer of 2023. Meslier, of course, initially joined the club last summer on a season-long loan from French side FC Lorient and has now made the move to Elland Road permanent. This season, Meslier has kept 7 clean sheets in 10 league appearances for Leeds. He has, of course, made 11 appearances in total. And yeah, the fee is believed to be around £5 million. I mean, Charles, what a bargain this is. It's a great signing.
Yes, as far as Premier League finances go, it's a really excellent signing. I've been impressed with him with his distribution. Saves he's been called on to make, that hasn't been many, but he's made them. Obviously, the last game against Charlton on the Wednesday of this week, he made that very late on in the game. It was a header from a corner that Charlton had. He made that fantastic save, which I think Phil Hay described it as Gordon Banks-esque. I've seen it back, and it is very, very similar to that type of save, that kind of diving, palm it just round the post and over the bar type thing. So it's the saves he's been called on to make has been good. His distribution has been good. He's very comfortable. The players seem comfortable with him, and that is a crucial part. It's the confidence in the defence that they've got a keeper that they trust behind them, which maybe they didn't necessarily have with Kiko Casilla. I also know, I forgot to mention it earlier, but Kiko Casilla was what I thought notably absent from the trophy celebrations yesterday. I don't know if you saw much of him.
No, I didn't see much of him either.
I didn't see him at all. So I don't know what that spells out for the club and what his future possibly would be. Obviously, the club have signed Meslier on the 3-year deal for around £5 million. Not sure what kind of wage he'll be on. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of him. I think he's a very funny character. He's obviously very, very large, kind of gangly, long-limbed. He's 6'5".
I've mentioned this many times. He could probably do the head, shoulders, knees, and toes dance without bending down.
Yeah,
he's like a spider.
His voice makes me laugh because you think, looking at him, he's got quite like a teenager face, but he's got a voice like Ivan Drago from Rocky IV. If he dies, he dies. Yeah. He sounds exactly like him. So he's got an incredibly deep French voice.
He needs to get into voice acting. I'd be listening to a book that he's been speaking, and I'd fall asleep listening to that voice. Yeah, what a voice he's got.
Yeah, it's a brilliant voice. But yeah, he's a really good goalkeeper. 7 clean sheets at the end of the season is nothing to be sniffed at. That probably puts him kind of, mid-ranking in the Golden Glove for the Championship this season, and he only played 10 games. It's fantastic, really. So. And to think that obviously Bielkowski won it at Millwall in the end, but Kiko Casilla probably would have won it if he'd have finished the season. Given the amount of clean sheets he had, I think Kiko had 15 by the end of the season. So, yeah, it's really impressive from Meslier, as Brinlaw calls him, because apparently that's how you pronounce it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him more. I think that's been a really, really good investment in a young player. Obviously. He's represented France at youth level, so we'll see how his career progresses. And as a keeper, he's only 20 years old. He's younger than both me and you.
Yeah,
he's got plenty of time to progress. He's probably got another 15 years of him playing professional football if he treats himself right and plays to the right standards. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what we can see of him at Leeds.
Yeah, very much so. He's a fantastic goalkeeper, and as you say, 7 clean sheets. It's nothing to be sniffed at. Of course, helped by a terrific defence. Terrific backline, but Meslier has made some top saves. His distribution is excellent. I just cast my mind back to the Arsenal game. He was superb in that. I've seen Meslier play many times over these past 2 years up at Thorpe Arch, and of course, down at Elland Road when the U23s have played there. He commands his area well. And yeah, he's a really, really good goalkeeper. We were waxing lyrical about him on the previous episode. And yeah, he really is a good goalkeeper. And as you mentioned, 20 years old, younger than us. He's still improving. Still, there's still some areas in his game where you think, oh yeah, he can improve that. But yeah, 20 years old. He's still a student.
It's kind of a bit of a kind of tinge and bitterness and regret the fact he's younger than us and he's probably learn more than we'll ever earn.
Yeah. But no, I think he really is a good goalkeeper.
I'm gonna say I think our footballing careers are pretty much finished, mate.
Oh yeah, we can give up on footballing careers, mate.
Yeah, a
Yeah, I
long
mean,
time ago.
maybe a pub league, where
Yeah,
everyone's got beer bellies, but Meslier, he really is, a fantastic goalkeeper. 20 years old, he's still improving, and yeah, £5 million I think is an absolute bargain. And I said this in the previous episode, I think Meslier will be one of the best goalkeepers in the world in a few years. I really, really do. I think he'll be
I'm not
France
sure.
number
I'm
one.
not sure I would go that far, but I think he'll be a very, very decent standard Premier League goalkeeper. I'd be surprised if he's not. If he don't get there by the time he's at his peak.
Yeah, no, I think he's going to be really good. 20 years old and he's good. He just won the championship with Leeds at 20 years old. I think he's going to be superb in a few years. Definitely a France number one in the future. I do think. I think he's fantastic. And yeah, Elland Meslier there signing a 3-year deal with Leeds. Yeah, fantastic bit of business from the club. And could Uruguayan striker Edinson Cavani also be wearing an Adidas Leeds United shirt next season? He's been heavily linked with a move to Leeds this week after Leeds United owner Andrea Rosani came out and said, and I quote, "In addition to his quality, Cavani could contribute with his physicality and adapt here, but I've never talked about him with the coach. Having said that, we've certainly thought about him and we'll see, given he's still available on a free transfer." And yeah, these quotes have been reported by many media outlets. Charles, what do you make of all these?
Well, I think that his wages alone would probably be about £15 million over the course of the year because he's on with the amount of money he's on at PSG. He'll probably want the similar money again, particularly given if he was to sign for us, he's 33, so he'll want basically a retirement wage. He'll want the most amount of money possible. So, can I see this happening? No. Would it be hilarious seeing Edinson Cavani play for Leeds United in the Premier League? Yes, it would be brilliant. I think he's an exceptional player, but the chances of us signing him are slim to none. I don't expect this to come to anything. I think it's just Rajazani getting overexcited as he sometimes does, and a combination of that and a bit of paper talk. So I would be extremely surprised if Edinson Cavani signed for Leeds United.
Yeah, so would I. But I mean, we got Marcelo Bielsa, so don't rule it out. But I don't see Cavani coming to Leeds. I mean, we were linked with Cavani and Ibrahimovic in January, weren't we? But yeah, I just think it's a load of rubbish. I think it's just a great PR move, if anything, because it's got everyone talking about it. Got people photoshopping Cavani in their Leeds United shirts. So, but no, I can't see it happening. But Cavani is, of course, a big name. He's a good player, even still at the age of 33. This season, he's only scored 7 goals and got 3 assists in 22 total appearances for PSG. But last season, he scored 23 goals and got 9 assists in 33 total games. So, yeah, he's still very capable. But, as you say, he's going to be on a very high wage. A free transfer, great. But, yeah, he's going to be on, £10 million a year. Probably even more. He's going to want a retirement wage. So, yeah. Can I see it happening? No, but would he be a fantastic signing? Yes. Although, I mean, even if we do sign Cavani, Bamford will probably still start ahead of him.
Yeah. There's no way Edinson Cavani's come to Leeds, and he's especially not coming to sit on the bench behind Patrick Bamford. So, yeah, the odds of that happening are slim. But I don't really want the big names because the big names aren't going to buy into the kind of Bielsa system, not going to buy into the selflessness, they're not going to buy into the hard training regimes, they're not going to buy into the fact that it is we are better than the sum of our parts in the Bielsa system. And big name players who've got, powerful agents behind them like Cavani does aren't necessarily going to buy into that. So I would prefer us to go for someone a little bit more unknown, a little bit younger, definitely. And someone who will just buy in and will fit the system and will play for us for a few years. Because even if we do, by some miracle, get Cavani, we'll only have him for a year or so, probably a year.
Yeah.
So we need to think more. I think we need to think more long term than that, personally.
Yeah. I very much agree. So yeah, I very doubt Cavani will be wearing a Leeds United shirt next season. Someone who definitely won't be wearing Adidas Club next season is 37-year-old coach Carlos Corberan, who has now officially left his role at Leeds United to become the new head coach of Championship side Huddersfield Town. He published a really nice open letter thanking everyone for the past 3 years while he's been at Leeds. And yeah, Charles, it's sad that he's leaving, but, he's earned this opportunity. And yeah, I'm really, really pleased for Corberan.
Yeah, he's performed fantastically well with the under-23s and has been kind of a liaison staff member between the under-23s and the first team, kind of progressing up the likes of Struik and Shackleton and Paveda and Robbie Gotts and Alfie McCalmont and Jordan Stevens. So he's progressed all these players. He recommended them to Bielsa. He said these lads are ready to play. Yeah, apparently he's a very hard-working bloke as well, a very bit of a workaholic, a bit like Bielsa. So yeah, he's earned his opportunity, and even though it is with Huddersfield Town, I do wish him the best of luck.
Yeah, very much so. I think, Carlos Corberan will always be respected by Leeds United fans for all the great work he's done. He's done a fantastic job getting us to Category 1 status in the academy. He's done a fantastic job and will always be respected, at least by me for that. And I think a lot of Leeds fans will respect him for that. As you say, it's a shame that he's off to Huddersfield Town, because now I'm going to be wanting Huddersfield Town to do well, because I want Carlos Corberan to do well. But no, he really, really has earned this opportunity. He's been a fantastic coach. It's sad to see him leave because, I think a lot of people thought they would be a good successor to Bielsa, because he's just been in and around all that. He knows the Bielsa way, because he's always been very heavily involved with Bielsa and all of the coaches since Bielsa's arrived. So yeah, I feel as though he could have been a good successor to Bielsa. He knows that way. And he's just a good coach. It's fantastic, to just keep hold of good coaches, keep him at the club, keep the foundations. But, he's leaving, and I'll hold the door open, and I'm wishing the best of luck. He really has earned this opportunity, and it's a great opportunity for him. And thank you, Carlos Corberan, for all the work that you've done at Leeds United, and the best of luck in the future. And now, moving on. At the time that we are recording the podcast, the Leeds United Player of the Year Awards is happening right now. And Bevan Cross from Leeds Live is updating us. And so far, Ben White has won the Young Player of the Year, and Stuart Dallas has won the Players Player of the Year. Well earned these two awards. Ben White, me and you voted for him to be the Young Player of the Year. Stuart Dallas, the Players Player of the Year. Even the squad recognise that Stuart Dallas has been fantastic this season. Well earned.
Yeah, absolutely. They've thoroughly deserved. They've both been fantastic performers, consistent performers all season, and they've absolutely deserved it.
Yeah, very much so. Well earned to the both of these. Congratulations to them. It's interesting that they're not streaming this live, but I feel as though it is a good decision, because if they were streaming it live, then I think a lot of fans would have gone down. So probably a sensible decision there.
Obviously we've been very critical of the club earlier in the podcast, but it's a smart move to do it off camera and to keep it under wraps until it's finished, and then they can live stream it later on to ensure that there's not because this if they did, it'd be yet another celebration in the city, and they don't want that. So they made the right decision in this case, even if they haven't done with regards to what happened yesterday. But I'm pleased that they've done it like this.
Yeah. Although a lot of the adult season ticket holders who picked option 2, included in that was a live virtual ticket to the Player of the Year award. So quite a lot of people aren't too happy about that. But no, I think it's good from the club not to live stream it, because you would have had a lot of people gather outside the Tentina Pavilion to try and meet them all. So sensible decision from the club on there. So credit to them. Well, I guess that's it then for this episode. I do want to say from all of us here on the All Things Leeds team, thank you so much for all of your support throughout the entire season. It's been absolutely incredible. The support has been great. So, on behalf of everyone on the All Things Leeds team, we really, really do appreciate the support. Charles and I will be doing podcasts during the mini break, because, of course, the new season does start in 6 weeks or so. So, a very quick turnaround. But Charles and I will be continuing the podcast through this mini break. Are you excited for the Premier League, Charles?
I am. It's very much a new world for us as kind of younger Leeds fans, and I'm anticipating it being a very good season, a very memorable season. I'll put it like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think how the next time Leeds United play, the next time we're in Elland Road, it's going to be the Premier League, and Elland Road is a Premier League stadium. It's crazy to think like that.
It's just because it's when you want something for such a long time, when it's not happening, it feels a bit surreal at first. But obviously, I'm really looking forward to this, and I think it'll be fantastic. I think obviously they'll talk about letting fans back in October. I really hope they save the Manchester United home game until after October, because I want to be at there for that one if I can. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it massively, and I think it'll be really interesting. I think it'll be spectacular for the fan base.
Yeah, I mean, the new season's going to start sometime in September. Would you like the season to be postponed until October, when fans are allowed back in, or
I think
are you not bothered?
They've got. I'm not that bothered, and they've kind of got a limited time frame with regards to the Euros 2020, which obviously they're playing next summer. So I understand why they've got to do some things in a certain time frame. So I'm not overly gutted by that.
Yeah, are you ready for the Premier League then?
Yeah, I am. I think I am. I think we all are.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm buzzing to just see, because as much as I'm a Leeds United fan, I'm a football fan, and I just like seeing world-class players, and we're going to be seeing world-class players play at Elland Road. So, yeah, I'm very excited for that. Are Leeds ready for the Premier League, though? Do you think? Are Leeds ready for the Premier League? Or the Premier League ready for Leeds?
Are Leeds ready for the Premier League? I think we probably need a few, probably between 3 and 5 additions to the squad to kind of just beef it up a bit, make us a bit more competitive, because obviously the gap in quality is huge. Is the Premier League ready for Leeds? I very much doubt it. I think the fan base, I think the atmosphere will bring, I think the change of pace that we will offer from the likes of other prawn sandwich clubs will be, very interesting. And I think, I think we'll take a few teams by surprise. I think teams were. I think Arsenal underestimated us a bit in January, and I think other teams will follow suit. I think they will potentially see us as another Norwich, and I think I'm very much looking forward to disproving them of that notion.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'd agree. I don't think the Premier League are ready for Leeds United. The atmosphere, the fan base. Yeah, the Premier League hasn't seen anything like it for years and years. So yeah, I don't think the Premier League and the Premier League players right now are ready for what's about to come. And I am very, very excited for the new season and the Premier League season. Yay, Leeds United in the Premier League. I cannot wait. But yeah, we'll wrap it up there then. Thank you so much to everyone who has watched or listened. We really do appreciate it. Thank you as always to Charles for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, mate.
Yeah, very much appreciate you joining me. Make sure to follow the podcast if you have not already. Share the podcast around as well. Give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts. Follow All Things Leeds on social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, it's scrolling at the bottom of the screen right now. But for the benefit of those just listening, Facebook, we are All Things Leeds, and we are All Things Leeds on YouTube as well. And then it's at All Things Leeds 1 on Instagram and Twitter. So make sure you go follow to keep up to date. Charles and I, we will be back next week for a proper season review. We'll be speaking to many Leeds United fans on that show. So look forward to that. And as I said, at the top of the show, to play us out is Paul Wilson's new track, United Are Back. Many thanks to Paul for giving us permission to play this song out in full. Make sure to go follow him on Twitter at PWilsonMusic, and also give a subscribe to his YouTube channel, Paul Wilson, to listen to more of his awesome tracks. I'll leave all of the links to his various social media pages in the description, so make sure to go and check him out. But yes, here's his new song, United Are Back. So yes, until next time, take care, stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll speak to you soon, and enjoy.
United, and we're coming home. So stand up for Marcelo, hoist up the Yorkshire Rose. It's time to say goodbye. the Yorkshire Rolls. It's time to say goodbye to all that we've known. We wanna go home. He's taking us home. We're Leeds United and we're coming